Hey guys, it's David here, and I am here in Grand Marais, Minnesota. And today's newsletter, I want to do a little video on what I am doing up here. For one, I'm going to be coming back here after a week. I just had the opportunity to get up here, and I thought to myself, I'm going to study water and how water and waves and everything like that reflect, and just basically that's what I do when I want to really paint something and know everything about it. So that's what I'm doing here this week, or today, and actually yesterday. And so let me just show you what I'm studying. And what it is I'm at Artist Point, which is pretty ironic that I'm at Artist Point. And so if you look over here and see, this is what I'll be painting later. And the sun's just going down. Got the golden hour, and it just went behind a cloud finally. It was really blaring in my eyes. But this afternoon I was here most of the day, and I was looking at the waves and seeing how I would paint waves. And so I came up here to show you guys, but there's not many waves up this afternoon or this evening. There are some, but I just wanted to show you what I do is I memorize things. And I have a camera here too that helps me to identify the wave and what's happening. So right here you have the wave splashing against these rocks. But I look at the wave and I look at the light and where the light's coming from. I look into the water, see what kind of colors, and I actually don't think about the color. At first what I do is I just kind of take snapshots in my head and also take snapshots on my phone, and I stop the water. And so I can see what is actually happening, and like what is dark or what's light. And I found out that if the sun is away from you right now, if I'm looking at the water right here, see the dark parts? That's away from the sun, basically. So it's like a mountain. Every one of those little mountains or hills is looking away from the sun. So it's going uphill, downhill, and then the downhill part is the light part. And if you look at the light part, there's many different parts of the light. I'm going to go a little bit closer. If you look really close to the light, see how it ripples? Or it twinkles actually, and that's usually on the top of the wave. The dark is still the dark part. The light, the light is still on the top and in the back, and then anything that you see that's dark will be facing towards me. And that happens, I don't care, in the middle of the day, this evening. And so if you look out there's not many waves right now on Lake Superior. There's some coming in, but usually here comes one. See how all of a sudden the bigger wave, and so those are small little rippled waves, but here comes a big one. Now watch how, well, it's not really that big. But you'll see it goes across, so there's different size waves. There's the main one, the big one that sometimes you have put a little bit darkened because it's carrying all those little. So here, let me see. There's a big one coming in. See how that goes across? It kind of comes across here. And then that's the bigger part of the wave. And then inside that big wave, you put in the small waves. And they're pretty much, if you stopped motion, if you stopped it, you would see it's almost like little triangles. So I'm going to be practicing that this evening and trying to do a little bit of sketches of waves so that I can learn how to do waves without having to actually look at them. That's how I studied through most of my career as an illustrator, is I studied how to draw things from my imagination. And so this is one of those things I want to do. I want to learn how water affects, and how it looks when you don't have it right in front of you. And also, it's a little bit different too. And like, look over here. If you're looking into the water, then it's a whole different thing. So here, if you're looking away from the sun now, look at where the darks are. And the darks are the dark of the sky. If you're looking for color, then it's basically the dark that you're looking into the water. So that's the depth. I can see into the water. That's what makes it dark. Now the part that's heading towards the light is again opposite of where the thing is in front of you. So the wave that's looking towards us, the part of the wave that's like this, looking at me, that is going to be dark. And everything on the other side of the wave going this way is going to be the light. And there's all kinds of colors. And so when you're doing and painting this, what you do is you look at the color of the sky, because that's going to be the light part. And also the part of the dark is going to be the dark, deep part of the water, basically. So it's not like you're seeing the color of the water, because this water does not have color. And so you're seeing the bottom of the lake, and also what's behind me. If there's something behind me reflecting, as you can see right here, the sun is reflecting. I'm back up against the sun, and you're seeing that too. So a little bit of everything. And then when there is a wave with where it here comes the wave. See the bigger wave? Comes this smaller wave. And then of course it splashes against the rock. And then everything that's splashing, or when it rolls over, if the wave rolls over, which is not happening right now because there's not enough waves, or not big enough waves, then it happens that is white. So look at all that, when it breaks up, and see how it just becomes white? There it is. There's the white. And then the rock is wet, and so look at the difference between a wet rock and a dry rock. Here's a dry rock, or dry rock. Dry rod, I was going to say. Dry rock is dry, and so it doesn't reflect anything. But as soon as I go here, right there, there's wet rock. So look at how light that is. Same rock, same thing, but it's reflecting now the lightness of the sun, because it's a mirror now, because the water makes it shiny like metal. Anything I was talking about this last weekend about metal, water, anything that's wet and shiny like aluminum or chrome, that is handled all the same. It's all handled where the light part is shiny. See, it's shiny, and so it's reflecting like a mirror. So it reflects, the rock is this color, but when you make it light, boom, it's super light because the sun is right on that. And then over here it's really dark because it also picks up the dark. So just a little thing. So when you're out doing anything and trying to figure out how to draw or paint that subject matter, definitely try to look at the thing and try to memorize what's happening. Look at and just study it, and actually make notes. Make notes in your, and I would suggest that you first not paint it, but first do it like a little value sketch, so you can see and draw the values of what's happening, because the color you can figure out when you're actually painting it. So this is the scene I'll be painting in a little bit, hopefully somewhere around here. And there's my pack, and so I'm just going to look around here and just do a nice little quick study. And I want to kind of get closer to the water, and again get so I can see into the water too, because that's another thing. I was studying how when you're looking into the water, when do you see inside the water? It's when it's calmer. So when the water is a little bit calmer, then you can see down to the bottom. If it's wet like this and it's really choppy, then you don't see what's underneath so much. I mean, you can see a little bit when it gets kind of smoother, but once it hits, like when the water hits the rocks really like this, boom, then you don't see anything, because you're seeing nothing but lights and darks, a bunch of million mirrors that are reflecting a different way. All right, so look at the light, how the sun shines all the way to as far as the water goes, but it gets thinner as it goes down to the bottom. See, up here it's thicker, and as it comes down here, it gets lighter and less of the light. So that's a mirror. It's a really big mirror, and then each one of these little mirrors is heading towards my face, and so I'm seeing that bouncing up and back up to the sun. So all kinds of things that you try to memorize those things, and don't just copy what you see. Try to memorize it so that if the sun isn't out and you still want to put it in like that, then you could. Then you know how to do that, because that's everybody's artist license is to be able to do whatever you saw. You can go ahead and do that. And if you don't have a camera with you, or like this now, I could take a shot, take a photo. But I know how it looks now, and so I can make this up out of my head, because that's what I've been doing, is practicing all day and just studying it. Now this is interesting because I didn't study this until now, so I'm going to be memorizing this for a little bit, because again, look at the rocks, the dark that are not wet, and it's really, really dark, those rocks out there. And any of the rocks that are wet, like this one right here, this one right there, look at how wet that is, and look at how it again reflects the sun. And look at the optical scatter up here. Where's my finger? See the optical scatter? See how the sun is so bright that it makes this disappear, the way distance, background? So again, visualize things and memorize them. Try to get your brain thinking about things and then memorizing them. All right? So it's just really important, so that if this goes away, it's going to go away in like 10 minutes, the sun will be gone. And so then in that time, you memorize it and figure it out and look at what's happening, and then memorize. And so the more you memorize, it took me quite a bit of time to memorize and learn how to do that. But if you just keep on doing it, keep on thinking about memorizing it, not just taking a photo. Taking a photo is fine, and then you can actually study it at home too. But seeing the original and the actual part of it working is the best. Look at this, when the light, when it hits, when the waves come in and it shoots up a little spark, tons of little water, droplets, they become really light because they're hitting the sun. See how they come to light? There you go. See there? So they become light. So anything that's splashing is white of the splash, or it can become the little light of the sun, the orange of the sun. And look at these rocks now, how orange they are because the sun is also right on top of them. The color of the rock is not this red. It's not red like that. It is because the sun's shining on it, but if you look over here, this is the actual color of the rock, of the boulders. So I hope that helped a little bit. There's a little bit of thing I thought to tell you what I'm doing up here in Grand Marais this weekend. I'm not painting for the event because I kind of like to do that during the week. But I'm here to just study. I just was here to study and look and kind of scout out the place too. Because I like to scout out the place and see what Grand Marais is all about. And I've been here like 4 years now. This is the 5th year. But it's always good to take another look at what you're painting, and just kind of, just as I've been doing, taking it in all weekend. So everybody have a great rest of the week, and I see you on Friday, or on Thursday, where I'll do the paint along of this scene that was taken on the other side, way over there. Way over there is where I took the scene that we're going to be painting next Thursday. And so I'll see you then. All right, bye-bye.